Okay, there we go, that's another Kakurega done, and it's time to finish off Operation 001B. Getting close to the end of Operation 1 now. Just got this and Operation 001C to go. Now, this mission basically completely requires you to use Unite Gun and Wonder Green, because it's the only way that you're going to be able to attack this. It was a Tieku? I honestly can't remember a lot of the names of these enemies, as I've said before. It's a cool little thing to do, be able to do. Kind of fire enemies, things back at them. But it can be a little bit of a pain sometimes, I have to say. But I believe, yeah, this mission's a bit of a dick, really. So you've got the two hoedowns, you've got all of these Gedus, or Dogus, something like that, and it's a very cramped area. Not the biggest fan of it, I have to say. Also, rather irritatingly, I believe that there is a hero heart that you can collect in this very area. Unfortunately, you are unable to get it on your first run through because you need a certain Unite Morph that you are not in possession of right now. And it's probably one of the cheaper things of the game, in that there are a few things that you cannot unlock until you have this one Unite Morph, and you don't get it until Operation 3. That's how long you're forced to wait for this Unite Morph, which allows you to get every single secret in the game. Because up until that point, you don't. You just gotta run by and not know that it's there. Oh, and look, there's a Dark Art. Along with more of the Dogus. Don't like them, really, if I'm honest. Overall, I'm not too much of a fan of Operation 001B. It's got quite a few rather moments in it. Although the end of it, which is coming up shortly, is rather awesome and hilarious. So that more than makes up for the period of not a fan of this area. I mean, thankfully enemies like the Dark Art get a lot easier to defeat. Starting the next chapter, really. Well, next operation, I should say. Once again, I'm getting stuck in my Bayonetta lingo. I think that might actually be the first consolation prize I've received. Oh dear. Consolation prizes are basically the worst ranking you can get in the game. And if you are unfortunate enough to die a lot of times in an operation, then you will get a consolation trophy at the end. It's basically the Stone Award of Bayonetta. And it's mean. I don't quite know what I'm trying to do, because it's not going to work. Just move on. Just move on, wonderful ones. It's your only hope. Now, seeing as we're in a kind of rather large bit of downtime here, I should probably go into how the wonderful 101 came into existence. So basically, there were discussions of having kind of an all-star Nintendo game, like a proper game that's not like how shall I put it? It's not like Smash Brothers. So like a platformer action game with all of your favourite Nintendo characters. Which, as an idea, is just brilliant, if you ask me. And because there was the issue of people would probably just stick with their favourite character and not use each of the Nintendo characters, there was the thing of, well, how do we go about kind of making you use them? So it's just like, well, how about we put them all on the screen at the same time and you switch between them all? So that basically was the beginning premise, and then I think either they felt limited or the whole that idea fell through, but the concept of having multiple characters on the screen at the same time and flipping between each moveset kind of continued, and Hideki Kamiya kind of kept going with it and came up with the idea for the wonderful 101. And you can still see elements of the game's kind of origins with Nintendo characters. So you've got the Unite hand, which, when caught on fire, shoots fireballs, and the fireballs have the Mario fireball sound effect. And then you've got Unite sword, which is very much like Link's, like the Master Sword. And when you look at Wonder Blue's design, he's got slightly pointed ears, which obviously by this point, by the design of the characters later on, it's obviously intentional that they decided to make him look like Link, but you can see that. And then I would assume Unite Gun is probably Star Fox or Metroid, really. They're probably the Nintendo franchises most famous for having guns of some description. Yeah, I just find it rather amusing that kind of that is where this game came out of. And I have to, I would love to see, really would love to see a game which had all of the Nintendo heroes in a platformer action title. It is basically the whole, people really want to see that Mario and Sonic platformer title. Whenever it's going to happen, if it ever happens, it should be pretty much something, whether that's good or bad. But it's the kind of stuff that people want, really. Also, we're about to get to a rather irritating section, because we have to control the camera with the gamepad in a room, and that is not something that is fun, especially the mission that we are about to face. It is probably one of my least favourite missions in the game, really. Oh, and look, there's another wonderful one. Wonder Kabuki, Old Stripe Face. Literally, their little titles that they have, some of the puns in them are just beautiful. Like, just awesome. But here we go, Mission 8. Ugh, hate this mission with a passion.
Get back here this instant. The world depends on you.
Also, if you pause at any point in the game, then Nelson will berate you. It wasn't my intention to do that, but so what you have to do is pick up the battery with Unite Gun, jump up the stairs, because it jumps kind of the quickest way of getting there, and then fire it into this slot here, and I did not mean to do that. Oh, it's so irritating. We also have another wonderful one in here, Wonder Science, and that little ID card that you saw, that happens for every single wonderful one. I'm not going to show them off because obviously having the bottom screen there does block off a reasonable chunk of the main screen, and it's not great. So, that's not the end of the mission. So once you've managed to be awesome and get the battery in the slot, you then have to shoot these balls and do it to match up with when it's over those circles. And you have to do this 3 times with it going increasingly quicker. The last one is just evil. Thankfully I got that reasonably quickly, but I am really not a fan of that mission. Because of the way that the gamepad control things inside areas, it's just a little bit... it feels a little bit messy. Because it's all done by gyroscope. So it's kind of really, really loose and doesn't run too smoothly, if I'm honest. Now, I think if you circle something out here... or not, never mind. Ignore me and just run out to the baseball pitch. Because this is the meat and guts of the end of Operation 001B. Something big this way comes.
We are not blind.
So, the sniveling worms dare to defy the guild of evil aliens terrorizing humans with gigawatt bombs, energy beams, ray guns, and killer lasers? This time, the mighty Lambo will wipe
I'm sorry,
the
but
civilized
that...
smiles from the face
doing
of
that
the
for Geathjerk, it's completely ridiculous, but it's just completely brilliant at the same time. I love it. Also, here we have Lambo, who is quite the villain.
But you come down here and I toss you in a cage where you belong, banana breath.
And you are?
They call me Wonder Blue. Soon you'll feel the sting of my Valiantium blade. Of course, you won't feel it for long. You'll...
I have no time to waste on pathetic underlings. You will produce your leader.
Who you calling an underling?
Ah, there is the blue I have missed. Every insult and opportunity to further taunt your opponent.
Stick a tube in it, foie gras.
I'm the one you're looking for. I'm the leader.
You?
That's right, me. I'm Wonder Red. And you've got only one choice, Invader. Lay down your arms, or lay down your life to the wonderful Won-stoppable.
Ha ha ha! That's rich! You're Wonder Red? Ha ha ha! There must be some mistake. I came looking for combatants, not color-coordinated cosplayers. In the interest of time, I hope you don't mind being vaporized by my molecular disintegration cannons.
Mission target, anti-air cannon at 12 o'clock. Team, unite up!
Roger.
And so we have to face off against Geathjerk, or however you want to pronounce it. Now, probably the safest option you have initially is to try and clear off all of the smaller enemies before you start firing things back at the cannons. I'm doing a very poor job of it, and I think I just decided to give up in the end and just thought I'll just destroy them all in the end anyway, so it'll be fine. But what Lambo says about the colour-coordinated cosplay brigade, it's so true about, like, the Power Rangers series and Super Sentai in general, they are literally colour-coordinated cosplayers. No matter what you say, that is the gist of what they're about. They just happen to have some excellent martial arts skills, generally. That's generally why they're so powerful. And also, it's just great that they do reference cosplay, because really, in video games themselves, the idea of cosplay never really gets mentioned. Like, I don't think I can think of a single game that has ever made explicit mention of cosplayers. Apart from maybe Ace Attorney. I believe during the Will Powers case in the original with Salmonella, I believe cosplay may have been mentioned there, but other than that... Also, we now have to face off against Lambo himself. Now, right now, facing Lambo is a bit of a pain. There is a Unite Morph that we are going to get much later on, which makes fights against enemies like Lambo a lot easier, and certainly a lot better in terms of the amount of damage that you can put out on him. But yeah, also do not get too close to Geathjerk. It's a bad idea. Another thing I'll probably point out is that the Wonderful 101 does seem to suffer from the typical hack and slash issue that tends to happen, of the fact that the game gets a lot more fun when you get more of your weapons and skills. At the beginning it's a bit more of a pain to play, particularly because you can't pull off half as many awesome combos. There are some skills in particular that are almost integral to getting a good score on the boss that we're about to face, but yeah, Lambo's sodding off.
Comrades, our playdate is at an end. But don't worry, you can still play with my toys.
Well, screw you, Lambo, God. Now, if you just look at the board on the Blossom Stadium thing, you might have seen the words Red Hot. Make of that what you will, considering Hideki Kamiya, you know, made Beautiful Joe with its red hot kick and so on and so forth.
The enemy anti-air cannon has radar lock. Initiating Virgin Victory stealth defense systems.
Team, unite up!
You may have also noticed that there are a lot of Dogus around the stadium, all of whom are kind of laid out in a thing that spells Geathjerk, which is just so awesome. It's just insane. I think also the signpost that says Fruity Cutie is probably a slight reference to one of Jean's alternate costumes in Bayonetta, which is Cutie J. Maybe. That I'm definitely not certain on that, I have to say. Now, our main task right now is to defeat Mr. Shudagu. No. I don't even know anymore. I'm just going to make up as I go along. Because you want to have that bat, but kill all of the enemies first before you even go near touching that bat. Because you need to be on the ball with this. Because you've got to swing the bat right back Geathjerk. And pretty much the timing, really, for the swing is wait until he's just as he's fired and then swing it, and you should be fine. And then if you actually manage to kill him in just 3 hits without missing a single one, you get the bottle cap batting 1,000, which is quite awesome. I seem to recall I did it the first time when I first played the game as well, but then I went back and did the mission again and I failed miserably at doing it. But oh well.
Ah, Christine Dae. But Ben, see what you make me do.
What exactly did you do?
But Operation 001B is at an end. It's time for us to head over to Operation 001C, eh?
Not the goddess. This is bad.
Oh dear, he's going to go and attack the goddess. Whatever that is, we don't quite know yet.
Wonderful 100. All aboard on the double. We're headed for the Goddess of Blossoms.
Initiating laser teleportation.
Beam us up. Alice.
Roger. Team, back to the ship.
It's basically like Beam Me Up Scotty, except, obviously, this isn't the Starship Enterprise. Well, there's probably some inspiration there for that.
Well done, team.
So there we go, there's the first gold. As I said before, this isn't going to be a straight platinum run. I wish it was, but I'm not that good at the Wonderful 101, unfortunately. Anyway, that's the end of Operation 001B. It's time to take on our first boss. Oh, this is going to be so exciting.
Speedliner.